Hey guys, Dan the Vlogging Man here, and yes, I know it's been a really long time since I've recorded a vlog here in this channel for you guys. 2 months to be exact. So, yeah, I really don't know why, but I've been waiting this long to make another video since the last one I recorded here in this channel was a tour of this house that I'm living in here just for the summer since I'm just subleasing it and then returning back to the residence hall I've been in my past few years for college and with my, well, for the most part, my same roommates again, so yeah. And I find it strange that I've waited this long to finally make another vlog again for you guys because, to be honest, my weeks actually haven't been all that busy um, with work and stuff because my main internship that I have during the week is just Tuesday to Thursday, 9 to 3 each day, and then I had this other gig that I was doing Mondays and Fridays for a while. It was some painting thing. Well, I did that at first for them, then I did some little marketing thing. I'm putting up door hangers on people's houses around various neighborhoods around the area, and that recently, that I recently just got finished up with. Like my last day, got my last paycheck, which was like, what was it? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, about. Oh yeah, a little over 2 weeks ago, right now actually. And on my way home, I was thinking, huh. Well, so what could I do now to like still keep some cash flowing for the last little bit of the summer? And then it immediately came to me, Lyft. You know that service is just like Uber. So it's like, well, like them and Uber are competitors to each other, and also there's one other thing called Sidecar. But that's a whole other story. So I thought I'd just sit here right now and give you guys my experience so far with driving for Lyft. So let's do this. Alright, so I'm going to be giving you guys my whole experience I've had with Lyft so far, from the application process to this first week of driving that I just got done. So here we go. Alright, so as mentioned, is a little over 2 weeks ago that I recently got let go from my other thing I was just doing on Mondays and Fridays because my internship, as mentioned before, was just Tuesday to Thursday. So that thing I was just doing Mondays and Fridays, it was, well, I did painting with this one company called Student Painters, and then like after a while, since they already had a few full-time painters on the job, they dropped me down to doing just marketing for them. And I was like, okay, cool. And so it's still something. And then, well, I knew that wasn't going to last for long, so it's a good thing that I was thinking of some sort of backup. And again, I thought, well, why not Lyft? So I think it was like either that night or the next day, I decided to go on to Lyft's website, see what they're all about, and then send in my application. So then basically, what that consisted of, which is like putting in all the basic information like my name, shipping address to get all my stuff once I officially got accepted as a driver, so like things like the emblem and a bunch of other little things, then also my billing address and all that other fun stuff. And then also, most importantly, the more important things, the kind of car I have, my insurance, and my license information and stuff. So yeah, that was that first part of the process. Pretty painless and stuff. Well, there was a little bit of a problem because because of like after, well, I'll get into that in a little while actually. So after completing my application, I had to schedule a visit with one of my region's mentors. So basically, like what they did on this certain day, like I just met them out in a certain spot, and they like gave me some tips and tricks on how to make the most of my Lyft experience, so I can like get the most money and stuff. So they did that. They took a look around my car, made sure everything was okay, take my profile picture, all that fun stuff, and then the mentor had me take them out on a short little drive, like just like right around the block, then just right back to where we were before. Nothing too hard. And then let's see, then like, oh, there's just a spin on my screen. So then like after that, like he told me like okay, so then now all we had to do on our end is wait for the background check to be processed. So Okay, so then after that, I was like, ooh, I'm on my way to possibly becoming a Lyft driver. But then here's where some little bits of problems in my application started. So I think, what was it, like, as soon as, after I got home, like, I looked at my phone just to see, like, what my application status was, and for some reason it still said my mentor thing was pending, even though well, granted, I just did it that day. But then I got another email from Lyft saying that, like, there's, like, a problem with my insurance info, and a pro tip for any of you guys registering for Lyft, I know they say that you had to have insurance under the insurance card or whatever has to have your name on it. Yes, while it does like smooth things out a little bit, unfortunately, like I don't have that because I'm still under my family's auto insurance policy. So, what I had to do was, well, my dad sent me a copy of my declarations document, which has like all the names of the other people covered under our auto insurance policy. So then I was able to save that picture, then just upload it to the same spot where I put my insurance card, and then I was all good to go. And then fast forward to, what was it? Yeah, yep, just this last Thursday. It was like late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Well, I think it was like basically just around midnight or so. I got an email back from Lyft saying, you officially got accepted as a driver and everything. So when I saw that, I was like, yes, I did it. So yeah, things were pretty awesome. So because it was a late Wednesday night / Thursday morning, I then actually had my internship that day from 9 to 3, and then after that, when I came back home from that, I retrieved my bank account info for my bank, which was like my checking account number and routing number. So I put those in, and then I was all good to go. And I thought, like, right after I put all both those things in, well, why not take myself on a little Lyft test drive, if you will, and see if I actually get to pick anyone up. And sure enough, like just as soon as, like just like about like a few minutes or so after I put the thing in the drive mode and was just driving down my road here, I got my first request, and I was like, yes! Okay, maybe not quite like that, but I was like, hey, I got my first request. So I tap on it, and the cool thing about the Lyft app is, like, once you tap to accept someone's ride request, when you get that little notification, it automatically has their address of where they drop the pin on the map for where they want to be picked up. So it automatically has that, and then it will automatically switch to whatever mapping app you use. On iOS, there would be obviously Apple Maps, or you can also use Google Maps or Waze. I personally just use Apple Maps though, because I actually haven't had too many problems with it. Well, I did have one particular problem that I ran into recently with that, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So I clicked that. It automatically had the address of where they dropped their pin on the map, and then it automatically switched to my mapping app, aka Apple Maps. And then all I had to do was just drive out to pick up my passenger, and then I just had to tap confirming that I picked them up, and then after that, it'll either automatically have the address that the person puts in where they want to go, or I just had to ask them and just put it in manually, just like any other taxi driver would or whatever. So yeah. So then, like, after I pick the person up, I say, like, I go, oh hey, how's it going? And then I also go on to say that this is my first, that I was their first ever passenger they picked up for Lyft, and they're like, oh cool, and then like some other things. And overall, that first ride for me went perfectly. I said to take this person to somewhere that was I think just 5 minutes away, so it wasn't all that long a drive, which is typical, which I found to be typical for most of my rides I've been giving people. So yeah, and actually let me see here. I'm gonna pull my driver summaries here so I can like tell you exactly how much I've made. Let's see, Lyft.com. It's taking a little while to load. My internet's weird here. Okay, here we go. Log in. And driver summaries. Alright, so for my first ever day of driving, actually, I took 2 trips that day. I'll get into the second trip in a little while, actually. So the first trip I took that day, it was a 7-minute drive, and it also put on a $2 tip for me, so that was nice. And then for each of the rides, I think in my particular region of Minneapolis, St. Paul, and a bunch of other regions, it's a 20% fee that gets tacked on to each ride, depending on like how much it costs because of the length and stuff. So on this particular ride, it was $6 total, and then they added a $2 tip for me, and then there's also a little Lyft fee of $1, which gets attracted from my total earnings as well. So my total earnings for that ride overall were $680, so not too bad for a little ride. I mean, also later that same day, I think it was like sometime around 9 or so, I want to say, I decided, well, okay, so since that first ride went so successfully, how about I try seeing if I can go pick someone else up later tonight. So I did that, went in my car just a little before 9, turned my driver mode on again, started driving out to this one shopping center near me, because I heard the best advice is to not drive around and waste gas on trying to wait for someone to give you a ride request. That's just like not worth it. Well, I've done that a little bit, and that's been a little successful for me. So getting back to what I was saying, I was driving out to this one shopping center near me because I was just intending to wait in the parking lot there for a little while to see if I would get a request. But then, I wasn't getting anything like right as I was pulling into the parking lot. But then, right as I was pulling out, I get this one request, and I was like, cool, another ride request. So I tap to accept it, then it automatically takes me to my Apple Maps, and then I figured out it's a place that was just literally not even a minute from where I was. So I'm like, oh cool, so this person's like really close to me. So then I figured out, like right as I get into my map, as I was getting closer, that it was this one bar. And I was like, oh shoot, I need to find somewhere to park, because I can't just park right inside of the road here, because right by me on this particular road, there's a light rail and stuff, so the road's not all that. The road's pretty narrow and stuff. Uh-oh, there's something going on outside. Yeah, sorry about that. I was getting distracted there because there's an ambulance going by. Sure hope that person's okay. Okay, so back to what I was saying. That person that I was picking up was not even a minute away from me, and I figured out there was like right by a bar and stuff, and unfortunately I couldn't park right on the street because, as I mentioned before, on this road, on that main road I was on, wasn't all that big because there's a lot of bars and other businesses on the rightmost side, and then right near the left, just right by the left lane, there's the tracks for the light rail, since we had that in our region. So yeah. So then I figured out there's a little parking lot right next to the bar and stuff, so I pulled in there, and then I had a little bit of a hard time at first trying to figure out where this person was. So for like a few minutes, I was just like awkwardly walking around this outdoor seating area of this particular bar, being I'm looking for whoever they sent me a Lyft request, and then finally I find a person, and I'm like, oh, so it's you. And I was like, yep, it's me. So then I walked them over to my car, and then I input their destination since they didn't do that on the Lyft app beforehand. So then I put that in, drive to my destination, or drive to their destination, and yeah, it was simple as that. And I could tell that, because of the time of night and where I was picking this person up, that they honestly had a little to drink. Because this person really just constantly kept saying things like, oh, just, thanks so much for taking me home and stuff, and every time I'm like, no problem, that's what we're here for. And so yeah, I could tell that person had a little bit too much to drink, but hey, at least she did the right thing in requesting a Lyft ride from someone like me. That is the right thing to do. Never, ever drink and drive. It is not worth it. And I know, like, if I'm out at a bar and stuff, it's getting close to the time where I'm thinking of leaving to, like, just slow things down and just, like, not have any more drinks, because drinking and driving is, like, the stupidest thing you could do. So don't do it. Alright, so back to what I was saying. Like, this was a longer drive for me that day because it was a 6.3 mile trip and it took 19 minutes overall. And the total for that ride was like a little over $15. Plus, then there's a Lyft fee of $3.09 that's subtracted from that. So overall, I earned a little over $12 for that ride. So that wasn't too bad. So overall, for his first day, or for my very first day, I made almost 20 bucks after subtracting a little over $4 total in the Lyft fees. But then the nice thing about your total earnings is that you keep 100% of your tips, which is very awesome. So yeah, overall that was a pretty successful first day of Lyft, and I must be doing the right things because I saw that I'm looking here in this driver summary right now, and I got a 5-star review from one of my 2 drivers that I got, and they're like, "First Lyft, best of luck, Dan." So yeah, clearly I'm doing something right. Alright, then moving on to my next day, which was this past Friday. This was a really good day for me because I got 3 passengers this day. 3! And yeah, that was pretty awesome. So that day I started like a little after 7 in the morning, and that was one of their peak hours, which means there's not enough Lyft drivers to meet the demand of the passengers that need to be picked up. So yeah, so I think it was only my first ride that day that I gave that day that was within their peak hour, since I think I started a little after 7:30. So yeah, so that was pretty nice. So let's get into my summary for this day. So for this first ride that I gave just this past Friday, it was a 9.1 mile ride, and it took about like 25 minutes. I'm trying to think of where I picked them up. Anyway, I can't remember, but I do remember, I think, for all the trips I gave that day, it was like just taking people to work. So that was interesting. So back to what I was saying, this particular trip it took was 9.1 miles. It was 25 minutes. I think there was like a little bit of traffic and stuff. And my total overall was $21.70 plus a $2 tip. Then there's a $4.34 Lyft fee that I subtract from that. So overall, my earnings for that were about $20. So not bad, not bad. So then a little after that ride, I was driving around somewhere, just like looking for. I think I was just about to park somewhere, just to like wait for someone else to send me another ride request. But then all of a sudden I get another request again, and I'm like, oh, let's do this. So I drive out to pick up that person, and that trip ended up being a 2.6 mile trip, which took 9 minutes, and my total for that, or my ride cost, or the ride cost for that was $706, subtract and minus a $141 Lyft fee. So my earnings overall for that were $565. So not bad. This rider didn't give me a tip, but hey, it is what it is. Some people give tips and some don't, so you just gotta understand that. And then finally, just when I was about to get home, since I was perfectly satisfied with the 2 rides I gave, since it was like over a half hour that I was doing in driving for passengers, so I thought that was a pretty good day. But as soon as I was about to pull into one of my roads to get back home, I get another ride request, and I'm like, wow, I didn't think I was going to get another ride request. So yeah. So that was pretty nice. So then I just like turned like, so I just like had to turn right down to this other road and then just like take these other certain roads to get to my rider's pickup spot, and then the place where to drop them off was actually worked out pretty well for me because it was not too far from where I live right here. So that ended up working out pretty nice. So that ride ended up being almost a 3 mile ride, which took 8 minutes, and the total for our ride was $7.51 plus a $1 tip, and then subtracting a 150 Lyft fee. So my earnings overall for that ride were basically $7. So yeah, not bad. So overall, my earnings for this past Friday were like basically $32 after subtracting all those Lyft fees and all of it, and then like incorporating all the tips I got. So not bad, not bad. And of course, I also did get a 5-star rating from one of my passengers that day. So doing something right, doing something right. And then finally, on the last day I drove this week was just yesterday. I gave just one ride that day, and I honestly didn't think that I was going to get a ride that day, or get a ride that day for someone, because it was a Sunday and stuff. And I was doing it during their peak hours for it, or one of their 2 peak hours, and right in the morning for that day, which were between like 8 and 9 in the morning, and I honestly didn't think I was going to get anyone. So I kept driving out. So I did the usual thing that I did, turn on my driver mode, and just like drive over to one of the little shopping centers that's near me and park there for a little while. And I'm like, okay, I honestly don't know if I'm going to get a ride or give a ride right now, but hey, you never know. You never know. So then I just like kept driving for a little while, and I was like just driving back towards my place. Then all of a sudden, I get a freaking ride request, and I'm like, oh my god, I actually didn't think I was going to get one. So I tap that accept button, and I start following my Maps app for getting directions to where the person dropped their pin for a pickup spot. And this is where there's a little bit of a problem. The first spot that this thing actually navigated me to was like, it was like this one, I don't remember what the place exactly was, but it looks like it was this old abandoned place, and then there was like this area with a closed off fence and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not the spot where they are. So then I go back to my Lyft app and I call this person, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know where you are right now. And then they officially told me then where they were. So then I like input their little address and then just follow my navigation app to that, and then finally I found a person, and then like after I got into my car, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what was going on with my Maps app, and they're like, oh, it's okay. I've seen the problem on my end too. Like I said, there's like some problem with your GPS or whatever. I'm like, huh, I've never had that issue. So yeah. So then after that, they just input their address, which is like coincidentally just also right near me, which happened to work out nicely. So that ended up being a 4.3 mile trip, which took about 16 minutes, and then the total for that ride, total cost for that ride was like a little, let's just say basically $11.50, but it's technically $11.56, and they also gave me a $1 tip. There's also a $2.31 Lyft fee subtracted from that, so my earnings for that ride were $10.25. So not bad, not bad. So just a little bit earlier, I added up all my earnings from these past few first days of doing Lyft, and I made basically $61. So overall, I find that to be a pretty darn good first week of Lyft in my books. So as you could probably notice already, I've been loving Lyft so far. It's just so nice because unlike any other job, you're your own boss, and so basically you set your own schedule for when you want to be out to drive and stuff. So it's very nice. So I think what my plan is that will like mainly do it on. Well, I think I'll probably just like do it on Fridays, and then either a Saturday or Sunday, because during most of the week the peak hours for the peak hours for us drivers are until like really late at night / early in the morning, because because obviously it's during the week and a lot of people are busy with work and stuff, so they aren't out and about too much. So my plan is I'll probably mainly just do one of the peak hours on Friday, and then also some of that on Saturday or Sundays. And it'll probably be like a little less during if I want to continue to do this in the school year too, which I may just to keep that cash flowing, I may just like do it like on the weekends those days, because obviously when I get back to school, things are going to be busy with those classes again, since I am going to be taking 4 classes or 16 credits again. So obviously I won't have as much time to do it as I do right now, but hey, that's besides the point. And so basically, would I recommend that you do this if you want to like make some extra money on the side? My answer to that is a resounding yes. If you have a car and you don't want to, and like you want just something fun and easy to do, like if you don't have like some certain job right now, or it's like only a part-time thing, and you want to like do this on the weekends or whatever, then I say go for it. It's very fun, and you get to meet a bunch of cool people that you otherwise wouldn't have met before, and you get to know a little bit more of your city that you're in. And I really have been having fun doing that around here in the Twin Cities, or as it's also known, Minneapolis, St. Paul. So yeah. Oh, also, one other thing to consider if you're applying for this and you're slightly outside your coverage area. Just keep in mind that if you do that, you will have to face going into the coverage area for getting best results, because obviously cities only, or Lyft only allows for passengers to request rides for drivers just within a certain region, because as I said before, I'm just here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and I think our region mainly covers those 2 cities and just some of the suburbs. So it's a decent coverage range, but yeah, like you just have to keep that in mind. I'm just right here in St. Paul, so I don't have that problem at all. So yeah. Alright, so before I end this video, I also want to do the usual things. If you like this video, be sure to show that by clicking that thumbs up button. It really helps me out a lot. Also, be sure to comment below if you're a Lyft driver yourself, or if you use Lyft. Just like let me know what you think about it, or let me know what your experience has been as a driver so far if you do drive for them. Also, as always, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Yes, I know I don't make content on a consistent basis, but hey, it is what it is. Alright, also, one last thing, or 2 last things actually. If you haven't been following me on Twitter already, I'm at WildandPredsFan. I'll also link that in the description below. That's also my name on Instagram if you still want to follow me there as well. So yeah. Also, this is the last thing I promise. If you want to become a driver for Lyft, or if you want to just be a passenger on a Lyft drive, I'll have 2 referral codes for you below. One of them if you want to become a driver, or a second one if you want to get a certain amount that's good towards your first ride with Lyft. So I'll be providing those in the description below. Alright, so that's all I had to say really. So all that's left to say now is peace.